What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Inside the Box. Today, we're doing something new where we're covering just one show and we're going to go episode by episode. So, without further ado, today is My Hero Academia Vigilantes. The show My Hero Academia Vigilantes is a spin-off from the anime My Hero Academia, and it's about Koichi Haimawari, who is a young man. He's a college student. He works at a convenience store, and his quirk is to glide. Basically, he's able to move as long as he has 3 points of contact. He can move in any direction, and it's a pretty cool quirk, but it's kind of useless in the sense of he's not able to use it well. / he's not able to use it offensively. Also in this show, he sees a street performer who is Kazuho Hanayama, known as Pop Step, and she's like kind of an idol that pops up and she sings, has a bunch of fans. She's getting harassed by a group of thugs, and he goes to try and save her. He fails to save her, but they are then saved by Knuckle Duster, who's an old, grizzly kind of guy who seems to be quirkless, and he just has brass knuckles, just throwing hands. Who then he tells Koichi that he's going to become his master and teach him how to be a vigilante. In this show, vigilantes are people without their hero licenses. If you remember My Hero Academia, they had the three Midorima and Bakugo, and then what's his name? The fire ice guy?
Todoroki.
Ooh, it's been Todoroki. God, it's been so long. Before they had their license, they acted as vigilantes when they were fighting Stain. And yes, these are vigilantes. And it's also a prequel. And I like to also say that it was produced by Tetsuya Sato, who is the editor of My Hero. The author of this one is Hideyuki Furuhashi, and the artist is called Betancourt. So they're separate artists, separate authors from the original My Hero series. But in this series, each chapter that came out was written and then sent to Tetsuya Sato, who then got approval from the original author Kohei Horikoshi. And each chapter went by chapter, had to get full approval from the original creator. So it's a spin-off with a different creator with the full co-signing of the original author of My Hero. That being said, it's a prequel, so we get to see a lot of heroes such as Endeavor, Best Genius, All Might, President Mike, Razorhead, Midnight, and those kind of like top heroes. But they're very brief and they're not the main characters whatsoever. So that being said, Mac, what's been your thought process so far on this show?
Before I go on that, did you know that like the dude who's making the My Hero manga, like he keeps coming out with like more ending chapters, and people are like, he does not want to let this go, and they're just like, just go ahead and make a new arc of like them being like adult heroes, and I'm like, he just might. Yeah. It seems like he just might. I don't know.
I feel like it's a trend because the same thing happened with that's how Boruto was made. That's how Bleach came back. That's what Jujutsu Kaisen, they came out with extra chapters whenever it finished. And oftentimes when this kind of stuff ends, it's been going for so long and it's been so successful and the fan base are so strong that it's hard to let it go. And even going back to the creator of Naruto, Kishimoto, he tried to make another manga after Naruto finished. He's like, hey, I'm done with Naruto. I gave you guys Boruto, the spin-off chapter, to show you that he has kids. And he then tried to make I think it was called Samurai 8, where it's basically Space Samurai. And it was pretty dope. And he was bullied by the fan base into failing that. They were like, no, we hate it. Bring us back Naruto. When it was actually a pretty solid manga. And he got bullied back into making more Naruto stuff. So that poor Kishimoto, poor man, he's still making Boruto now. But I'm curious to see if My Hero's creator is going to do the same thing, where he's like, no, guys, please let this end. And they're like, no, you keep going. If you want to do anything in this industry, you're going to keep making My Hero stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, what do you think of Vigilantes?
It's great so far, man. I'm loving it. I love it in the sense to where I'm like, was Stain right? Because I'm like, these guys are being heroes without being paid to be heroes without like having ads and like companies and commercials and stuff. And it's like they are like street level, you know, they are. I don't even really know you consider them city level. They might just be like block level or like town level because they're just taking care of their community in a sense. Except for Knuckle Duster, he seems like he's fucking like chasing down whatever that thing is that turns their tongues black and stuff. Seems like he's chasing that down from city to city, and that man's just busting up anybody. But as for like
Yeah,
the
that man is a menace to society in whatever society he's in.
but as for like the main character, like I like him better than Deku already. I know everybody loves Deku and stuff like that, but I'm just like, bruh, this dude is just somebody who just wants to help out. Even before him like meeting Knuckle Duster, they just do him as like I forgot what they called him, but like he just like pick up like recycling and stuff like that and like help people cross the
Oh,
street.
nice guy.
This guy, I was just like,
Yeah.
so he was
Oh, look, it's
already
nice
he,
guy.
he's like already doing stuff and it's for his community. And then next thing you know, he just like ups the level. And so it's like, oh man, it's cool to see that. And then I think it's like episode 3 or 4, you see why he didn't make it to the test and stuff like that and everything like that. So it's like it's even deep diving more into like that story of it. But I
Hmm.
also just like being able to see like Eraserhead where
Oh
like he
yeah,
went to go
seeing
fight
like
Knuckle
the
Duster and stuff like that.
cameos.
And he's like, "Oh no, this guy's just tough." And I was like, "Yeah, he just wants to throw
Yeah,
hands." Like I'm just like, "Bruh."
yeah, he's just throwing hands.
Uh,
Honestly, I love one of my favorite things with the crossovers is with Ingenium with the speedster. Yeah, that whole
yeah.
episode of seeing him because in My Hero we get to see him very briefly and then Stain cripples him and but like to see him and then he was like, "Oh wow, your quirk is actually really cool. You should come work for me after you like graduate college." And then they help him with like the bat kind of like the bat villain and then he's like, "Oh, give me the card back." I was like, ah, dang, like that could have that. I feel like that was the only reason they did that is because they're like, we can't have the bleed over into the original series. And people were like, well, where is so and so if he's supposed to be working for Ingenium? So then he's like, oh, Ingenium has to take it back. But I was like, dang, he could have had such a good job.
I was kind of spoiled at like where he's at. I'm like, "Oh, so that's where he was at." I'm like, "Huh." But I kind of want to know how he gets to that point. But yeah, so I was spoiled for like where he was at. The internet and TikTok. I was like,
What do
dang
you mean for
you.
Ingenium or for the
The
crawler?
crawler for like where he was at, for like why he wasn't helping like Deku and all of them and everything while all this stuff was happening.
Oh,
I was like, oh,
oh, I haven't seen any spoilers.
yeah,
Luckily, I haven't seen any spoilers for
yeah.
this series
I
yet.
was
I
like,
did one of the things I also like more because like My Hero Academia originally was supposed to be more like American Hero-y. I like that this one leans into like the comic book panel like sound effects, like the pow, like the boom, and like how it like has those, but also that they have a spin-off of Wolverine and Cyclops in as like middle
yeah.
schoolers. And I'm like, this is so good. And they're like the pop steps, like super
Fans,
fans.
yeah.
There's so many small things. I'm just like, this is so good. And also they have in episode 4, I think, or episode 5 uh yeah, episode 5 you have Stendhal, who's the vigilante, and he's like cutting people. I don't it didn't like they haven't officially said, but
Pretty sure
that
it's
is
Stain.
definitely
Yeah.
Stain. Yeah, it's 100% Stain. I was like, oh, this is so crazy that he used to be and now he's in here. I'm like, this all right, I'm liking this a lot where
It's
they're
cool to
having that.
definitely see his beginnings. But see, so I wonder, are they gonna like show us him fully kind of turn like that, like turn into Stain,
Oh, I feel like
and
he has
then
to because after he killed the rock villain, I'm like, this guy's getting
yeah.
dark. There's going to be had to be something that happens.
And my thing is like,
So,
does he ever interact with the crawler and like stuff like that? Because it seems like they will interact at one point, and then it's just like, what was his breaking point to turn into Stain and start attacking heroes? Like, why isn't he just kind of like that anti-hero s to where he seems like he wants to do good, and he even talks about Homeboy of him being like a fighter and stuff like that, and a true hero and everything like that. So it's like clearly something had to have happened that's made him snap, and I just want to see what it is, and then I also want to see how our MC reacts to that. In a sense, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I do like the small power ups, but not in the sense of like how one for all is. But he just like gets like tips on like his quirk
Mm.
of like Genium's like, oh, well, instead of trying to break, you can just accelerate in reverse. And he's like, and then like the quirk gets that much stronger. And I'm hoping to see like that progress as we go. And also, I think in like the last episode, Queen Bee, the kind of like villain in the show right now,
Yeah,
where she's like giving trigger to people. When I saw that bee crawl in that girl's eye patch, I almost yacked. I was like, "Ah, oh, God, that was disgusting. Why would you have that in there? Why would that be where you keep bees? What is she like, Shino from Naruto?"
hey, don't be hating on my guy
And I was
Shino.
just,
They
hey,
nerfed him, bro.
nope.
That man should be
They
stupid
did, but
strong.
I was oh god, just the thought process of it. But yeah, in general, the show has been like such a breath of fresh air in comparison to like My Hero towards the end. At basically all after the um was it the red, white, and stripes, the female All
Yeah.
Might from America comes in. After that, I fell off. I finished the series, but I fell off like of enjoying it. I was like, oh,
Oh, dude, I
God,
fell
like all
off like
right.
after season 5.
Yeah, but when Stars and Stripes fights Shigaraki, I'm just like, you know, this was good. And then whenever Shigaraki wins due to complete straight plot armor, because like my name isn't Shigaraki, it's actually all for one. I'm like, all right, bro. Like what? You almost got smoked, and the only reason you survived is because Deku needs to beat you. That's the only reason you're still here.
There,
But
there's a lot of stuff I
yeah,
disagree with My Hero, and I can go off on a rant with that, but I'm not. I'm not.
yeah.
I'm still gonna watch
Vigilantes
it and finish it out and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah, Vigilantes is a breath of fresh air. I'm enjoying it so far. But looking forward to episode 6. It'll come out. Episode 5 came out this weekend, Judgment, and it's basically a flashback of Koichi and how he became. I thought I was interesting to see why he has no friends. I'm like, oh, he seems like a nice. He's literally known as a nice guy. I wonder why he doesn't have friends. And it's because they thought that he was trying to kill them all, and they're like, "Oh no, abandoned building!" And they're like, "Oh, now he's an outcast." I was like, "Oh, that's so sad." But now he has friends through Pop Step and Knuckle Duster, and then also all the hoodies. Seeing that he has like tons and tons of hoodies, I
yeah.
was like, "That's pretty dope." I like that. Seeing like just the different variants and whatnot, and then seeing Pop Step's background.
And like a lot of people were thinking, or like would have been cool instead of like Pop Step being the kid that he saved and like gave the hoodie to, and that's like why he missed his hero qualifier type trial thing. A lot of people was like, imagine if it was Deku, and that's just like how they can like connect it both series and everything like that.
Oh, I definitely think that for um because they had to send in the chapters every time they release one, I definitely think the original storyboard was him saving Deku. But they're
Mm,
like, no, because I know that the main creator of My Hero, like he co-signs it and he approves it, but he doesn't want it bleeding into My Hero as itself.
mm,
Like he's fine with it bleeding the reverse way as long as he approves it, but he doesn't want it having any effect on like why. So like with Deku, his entire purpose of being a hero is All Might. He didn't want Crawler being a influence on him because then
mm.
people are like, well, why didn't he mention it earlier that he was saved and he got his green hoodie from the Crawler? And I'm like, oh, just I understand why, but I'm just like, it would have been cool to see that like they were connected in some way. But yeah, that's what I have for My Hero Vigilantes. I'm looking forward to the next episode. We're gonna try and do these by doing them weekly. So next episode will be just us covering episode 6. So that's what we have for you guys today. Appreciate your time. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.